everybody. It's the start of another week, and we kick it off not only with that amazing Shang-Chi trailer, but with another live stream. I saw that someone joined. Hey, Skunkman62. That's a cool name. Whoever joins during a live stream gets a shout out, but I will do a bunch of shout outs at the end of the stream per usual. If you're new to live streams, the way they work is that I'll do the 3 stories of the day with a little interaction throughout. Then you can ask me anything you'd like for the final 10 minutes of the stream. And then I'll give a couple of shout outs at the very end. So we have some great stories to talk about today. Some really, really good ones. It's so nice to see all of you. Hello. That was crazy this morning with the trailer. I knew my source is very good on this stuff, so I was surprised. And I had actually tweeted, I didn't say what time it was going to drop at 9 a.m., but then when Simu Liu said that it was going to be in a few weeks, I was like, whoa. But I was right, so that was really nice. Twitter, usual cesspool that it was. Not any of you guys, but, you know, dealing with some ridiculousness on Twitter. Hey, Tom Campbell. But my source said that, you know, the whole thing was planned to be like a surprise for him. So that he was supposed to, you know, say, oh, so my tweet last night that the trailer was gonna come out got a lot of attention. So I think it's funny that Marvel must have been like, no, it's not coming out tomorrow. It's you know, it's later. And then it's like, it is, woo. Hey, Michael Gordon, thanks for joining. And Tom Campbell, I believe I just gave you a shout out. But that was a real roller coaster. I'm glad they did it just half an hour later. If they had waited till noon, I would have been like, it would have been really tough. I was like, that's crazy. So I'm glad it all worked out. So I only tweet when I know, and I got proven right about the Michael Keaton thing. I know some people don't like it when I show the receipts, but I mean, just keep in mind that you're not dealing with what I'm dealing with, and I deal with a lot of, you know, haters. So sometimes I got to show the receipts. Stephen, welcome back. Stephen Owsley, it's nice to see you again. And then also I've got Veritaserum Monk with, is that the Doctor Who telephone booth there, phone booth? Hey, Rocco Wilcox. Denzel, it's your first live. Oh, and you're dancing. I love it. All right, so let's get started. Josh loves movies. I think Venom is coming very soon. It could be this week. Yeah, Madeline, that's so sweet of you. Thank you to everybody who does defend me. I really appreciate it. You know, you keep doing it. I'm sorry you have to keep doing it, but it does make a difference, and I just, it means a lot. So thank you for those of you who do that. Thank you. You're very nice. You guys are so nice. You guys are the nicest people. Hey, Blaze Roach. That's funny. All right, so let's get started with the stories of the day. Oh, movie math, Ivan. As I tweeted out that movie math, I took yesterday off, and I was going to do movie math today. But then when this Shang-Chi trailer came out, that was the end of movie math for the week, I'm afraid. This week is crazy. I just don't have time to do movie math, but I will be doing it next Sunday. I took this week off intentionally because it wasn't a really big weekend in terms of box office, so we will discuss the box office next weekend. I rarely take a Sunday off, almost never, and so yesterday was one of those days. All right, story number 1. Boop. So there's Olivia Colman. Olivia Colman, it was announced today that Olivia Colman is going to join or is in talks to join Secret Invasion. Although when a trade gets wind of it, that means the deal is usually pretty close to being in place. Occasionally a deal will fall through, but more often than not, it works out. So Olivia Colman, who looks lovely there, she is going to be joining the show. Hot off of Julia Louis-Dreyfus joining the MCU on Winter Soldier. Now, for those of you who don't know who Olivia Colman is, I was surprised that people were like, who is this Julia Louis-Dreyfus? And you're like, seriously? She's like, hey, Stacey's Grape Soda. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is the comedy icon, but for some reason, some people didn't know who she was, which I think that was trolling. Speaking of trolling. But anyway, Olivia Colman is especially over the last few years, has become a megastar. She became a mainstream sensation with The Favorite, for which she won the Oscar and many awards. She's on The Crown. She took over for the role of Elizabeth. Hey, Karen Kelly, and has done a fabulous job. It took some getting used to, but she's great. She's also on Fleabag, if you've watched Fleabag, and you should watch Fleabag, although it's very inappropriate, just so you know. But Fleabag is fantastic, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge just joined Indiana Jones 5, so you should watch that show. It's very, very good. It takes a little getting used to, but I'd say halfway through season 1, I was like, this show's brilliant. And season 2 is particularly good. And then also, that's right, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Lisa, was also in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I love seeing her every year. I watch that movie every year. It's so good. And then The Father. She's just recently co-starred in The Father opposite Anthony Hopkins. Hi, Ty. I'm so happy so many of you are joining. Thank you for becoming a member. And so she's working a lot, and she's always fantastic. She doesn't have a tremendous amount of range, but movie stars rarely do, because you want to know what you're going to get. And you know what you're going to get with Olivia Colman. So it was reported today that she's joining Secret Invasion, the Disney Plus series. Now, this is going to take place, as I saw some of you writing, before most likely the upcoming Captain Marvel 2, and it's going to set up the next big Marvel. There's so many big Marvel events coming up. I don't know how Feige's going to do it, but I'm sure he probably will. Oh yeah, that's right, Michael Gordon. She was on Broadchurch. I loved Broadchurch. I think I watched season 1 and 2 maybe, but it was very good. So she was very good on that show. That's one of those BBC like detective shows with David Tennant. So that's also good to watch as well if you're looking for something. So no word yet on the role she's playing. I'm seeing some of you guess she might be the Skrull Queen, but remember that person becomes Spider-Woman in the comics. Although Kevin Feige, that's very sweet of you to say, Rocco. Kevin Feige often changes a lot of stuff. So he never gets in trouble for it. We'll see what happens with Ms. Marvel. I'm very curious to see if he gets away with that. The Ms. Marvel stuff is like a DC level change. You're like, what? But he gets away with it and everyone's all right. So we'll see hey, Justin Loke, thanks for joining. So we'll see who she ends up playing. Now, this is quite the cast, though. We've got Sam Jackson returning as Nick Fury. Ben Mendelsohn is our favorite Skrull. Kingsley Ben-Adir joined the show as the villain, potentially. That's what the trades reported him as. He played Malcolm X in One Night in Miami, and also he professionally plays Barack Obama. And he's very good at it, so I think he was wonderfully cast. And also, many of us suspect that Hulkling will be introduced on this show because they're getting the Young Avengers together. He's going to have to show up eventually. And if he doesn't show up here, he'll show up in Captain Marvel 2. Look, Patriot showed up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but his role has been very, very small. So, we don't know what to degree it's going to show up, but Hulkling is going to show up eventually. And so that's a place to keep an eye out for him. And this show is just coming together very quickly. I think that's all we know about it right now, but I'm very happy about it. And I'm glad to see Marvel continuing to have a discrepancy in terms of the age range that they hire. For instance, I watched Shadow and Bone over the weekend, which was so good. The embargo lifts on Wednesday, but it was to some degree it skewed very young in the cast, so it felt a little Riverdale at points, particularly in the beginning before it really started to get its momentum. So I like it when you have a cast like Olivia Colman and Ben Mendelsohn. It's going to be like, those scenes are going to be amazing. So anyway, I'm very excited about this. How do you guys feel about Olivia Colman joining the MCU? Yes, Marco, Hulkling is Wiccan's boyfriend. He's half Skrull and half Kree. Everyone's pretty excited. She's great. I mean, you could literally throw a dart at her resume and be happy with what you watch. That's pretty impressive. She does have some range. She plays a really mean character on Fleabag, or at least she comes across as mean. And she's very funny at it. It's going to be great. I'm very excited. All right, so that's the first story of the day. Woohoo! Story number 2. Boop! This was hilarious to me. So Downton Abbey 2 is coming out, and it was funny that they actually called it Downton Abbey 2 in the announcement. I'm like, you don't have a subtitle for it? I mean, it's a Christmas movie. Hey, Ross Gerwig, it's a Christmas movie. So I'm like, Christmas at Downton? But I mean, they've had so many Christmas specials over the years, maybe they're not quite ready to give away what the Christmas special is about. Christmas specials, by the way, are quite famous in the UK for their TV shows, and particularly for Downton Abbey. Although it was infamous when they killed Matthew on the Christmas special. I remember people complaining and said, I sat down for Christmas and you showed me that you killed off Matthew? Are you kidding me this? Kidding me with this? Now, Hocus Pocus is like, why do we need this? Because the first one made bank. And it was fun to see. If you're a fan of Downton Abbey, as am I, It is a lot of fun. Oh, Madeline, you didn't like it? Oh, I had a really good time. It felt a little rushed because we're used to watching a whole season of the show. And so just to have a movie is like a little bit of a letdown. But it was like a fan event when I went to see it. I went to see it here in New York City. I went to see it at this theater. It was like a theater full of people who would watch Downton Abbey. And they were like totally geeking out. It was like one of those movie theaters where they sell cookies and tea. And I think the people in my group were like, let's get cookies and tea because it's Downton Abbey. And it was just so much fun. We had a great time. Hey, Rob Kernock. And people cheered and got excited. People were filming the opening. Oh, and I saw it twice. I saw it the second time with some friends, but the first time I saw it I didn't go to the press screening. I went to an early screening where you could buy it if you were a super fan, and I saw it at the Dolby at AMC Lincoln Square, and I got a little Downton Abbey snow globe. If you went to see this, you got a Downton Abbey snow globe. I still have it. I should have gotten it for this video. I didn't think of it until just now, and it was like a little gold version of Downton Abbey, and this little snow globe, you turned it upside down, and it was like, and it would like rain down glitter, like a snow globe tends to do. But everybody in the audience was so excited about this. People were just like going nuts. It was like going to a Marvel movie, but with a Downton Abbey crowd. And it was, I had such a good time both times. People were majorly geeking out. So doing another movie, I think, is a very good idea, especially for Christmas. People are going to watch the heck out of this thing. Now, it's going to theaters, but it's a Focus Features film, which means it'll probably do the Universal release schedule because that's a division of Universal. That means it'll play in theaters, and then 3 weeks later, you'll be able to watch it at home. So I imagine it'll come out at the beginning of December so that in 3 weeks, you'll be able to watch it at home on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. And it's going to just be huge. I'm telling you, it's going to be a really big deal. If you're not into Downton Abbey, that's fine, but I wouldn't dismiss Downton Abbey. It's so good. Now, particularly exciting is that Maggie Smith will return. Maggie Smith, you know, she said she was dying in the last movie, and everyone was like, I knew it, she wants out. She's pulling a Harrison Ford. But she didn't let them actually kill her. She just like cuffed daintily into her lace handkerchief. And apparently she's hanging on. I don't know how they're going to explain that she's not dead yet because they made it seem like it was going to happen pretty soon. So I don't think they want it to be a bummer where they're like, oh, she's on her deathbed, but at least she's still in the movie. But I just think it's pretty funny. I'm sure they offered her a giant truck of money. And since it's a movie, it's not a huge commitment. So she just has to come in there and do some sneering, and we're all going to be like, it was worth it. Then they added some new actors. So the biggest name they added is Dominic West from The Affair most recently. He's probably going to play a villain. We'll see. I like Dominic West. I think he's a good actor. But it'll be funny to see him there. He's become very much a television actor. It's getting sunny. Hugh Dancy has joined. That's Claire Danes' husband, and he's done a few things. Some of you might, oh yeah, I know what Hugh Dancy did. Hannibal. I never watched Hannibal, but I know a lot of people did because they always tweet about how they were shipping Hannibal and, what's his name? Hugh Dancy and Mads Mikkelsen. People were like, because the people were talking about if Mads Mikkelsen could play the relationship, the LGBT relationship in Fantastic Beasts, and people were like, he did a pretty good job flirting it up with Hugh Dancy on Hannibal. So that's pretty good. So that should actually be a pretty good fandom. But again, it's a little bit of a TV actor. Then Laura Haddock, who played Star-Lord's mother in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, will be there. And, one other actress who I never heard of. Now, I think that I'm surprised they still haven't tried to bring any diversity to Downton Abbey. They did a pretty strong, speaking of the LGBT community, they did a pretty strong LGBT storyline in the last movie, which I'm really glad that they finally did after just kind of like flirting with it for seasons. So that have that diversity. But the show is like super white. And I think that they could find a way to bring a little diversity into it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're like, it would be so obvious. But I would think they would try. I mean, couldn't they have a visiting aristocrat from another country and just try to do it? So I'm excited about it, though. I will definitely watch it. It's fantastic. Yeah, Dan Stevens started out in this show. It made him a star. He quit because he wanted to be a bigger star. That didn't quite work out. Joao, I'm mispronouncing your first name, I think, but Miguel Loria. Thank you for joining. Yes, Roger Jean Page from Bridgerton would be excellent on this show. He'd be fantastic, but he doesn't want to do TV either. He pulled a Matthew over on Bridgerton. He was like, I'm out of here. They're like, you won't even do like a cameo? And he's like, no, I'm a movie star now. And a movie star he is. He's doing The Gray Man with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans for the Russo brothers on Netflix. And he's also going to be in the upcoming Dungeons and Dragons opposite Chris Pine. So he done good. His agent did an excellent job capitalizing on the Bridgerton success. Hey, Daniel Gorley. Hothelixon says, who is your favorite Downton character, Grace? Oh, I just love being in the world. But I do particularly like the dad. I think he's adorable. I hear one of his best jokes. There was an LGBT storyline where one of the people in the show kissed another person and it surprised them. And the funniest line from the dad was he said, I went to Eton, and if someone screamed bloody murder every time some other guy kissed them, everyone would be hoarse by the end of the semester. And that was a great line. See, they've done a good job putting the LGBT stuff in there, but I don't think they've done it enough with some of the other things they could do. I really particularly like the downstairs cast. I'm not a big fan of Edith. She complains a lot, but that's kind of Edith's whole storyline. But I like the whole show, but I particularly like the dad. I think he's very funny. And Lady Mary, she's like the ice queen, that you love to kind of be like. I think I don't love her, but like when she's on, I would miss her if she wasn't on the show, basically. And I'm excited. She married Matthew Good in the movie, or got together with Matthew Good. So maybe there'll be she can't. How many times is she going to hook up at Christmas? But because she did also with Matthew a lot too. As you can see, I really like this show. All right, let's go on to the next one because I know not all of you are huge fans. Hey, KL Knight. It's a great show. And everybody on it is great. Everybody. What's the butler's name again? What's his name? I love that guy. I don't even remember all their names. It's been a while. But I like, everybody's great. All right. Next story of the day. That's right, it's a boom baby. Here it comes. Boom baby. Now this I saved from last week because I liked it so much. Carson, thank you. Carson. Although Alfred Pennyworth, T.J. Williams, is an excellent guess. I also like Mr. Belvedere. You guys are funny. You guys are so funny. Those are good jokes. All right, so Mika Secret Invasion will start out as a Disney Plus series, and then I'm sure that it will set up probably a larger movie event. You think of the detail they've done in WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. You want Secret Invasion to be a series. It's going to be so good. I can't stand it. All right. Hey, Ralph Boner. That's hilarious. Speaking of WandaVision. All right, so the third story of the day, I saved this from late last week because I thought it was such a good story, and I was definitely going to cover it. So they're making an evil Stepsisters movie based on the success of Maleficent and Cruella, where they tell the story from the perspective of the villain, and we find out maybe they're not so villainous after all. Although that was the take on Maleficent, I'll be curious to see what they decide to do with Cruella and what they do here. Now, you guys, Marco knows where I'm heading with this. Now, the reason that I have a picture of Barb and Star there is that this is going to be made by Kristen Wiig and Annie Mamulo because Barb and Star was such a big success. And in fact, I checked right before today's stream, and Barb and Star is still in the top 10 on iTunes. And that thing came out in February, and it's still in the top 10. Who here watched Barb and Star? What did you think of it? Oh, Rudy really liked it. A triumph. That's strong praise. Cesar Coronado said it should be a musical. Jico is like me. I'm planning to. Rainbow Man says, meh. Brett says it was very weird. So is Mika. Oh, that's interesting. Really, was it bizarre? It seemed kind of weird. I was excited that Jamie Dornan was in it. I was like, that. He's like trying to really think outside the box too. But it was weird, so let's see here. Barbie Minaj says it was weird in a good way, and I kind of enjoyed it. That's hilarious. We'll take it. So Disney's decided that they thought that this was the perfect application for the evil Stepsisters. And I have to tell you, even though I didn't watch Barb and Star, I would agree with that. I would agree that this is a fantastic duo to do that. Now, unfortunately, it seems they will not be playing the evil Stepsisters because they're supposed to be younger. And of course, they already made a Cinderella movie, but that was before I think the Disney live-action fairy tales really got up to speed. So it was okay. It did very well, but it didn't do as well as some of the other ones. But It was okay. I think it was. I thought that. Did you guys like the Disney, Cinderella live action movie with Lily James? I mean, Kate Blanchett was amazing, but when else isn't she? But I thought that the movie itself was still. I think they didn't do enough with it. Oh, Rainbow Man loved it though. Waiting for your thoughts, you guys. I don't know why there's always such a lag on this thing. Oh, it's got a lot of fans. Look at the tsunami of love for it. The dress was amazing, Carlos. I will agree with that. So that's great. Everyone loved it. I'm so glad. Okay, so that's right, Peyton. It was barfing up fantasy. Kenneth Branagh just threw up all over that movie, and it was glorious. So I think, though, that they want them to be younger because it's going to tell the story of the evil stepsisters from childhood to Cinderella getting married to the prince, and then even beyond that as they try to uphold their family legacy of evilness. I don't know. But I think that sounds pretty good. Now, it's unfortunate that Kristen Wiig can't be Cinderella because, remember, if you've ever seen the Saturday Night Live Real Housewives of Disney Fairy Tales, it's hilarious. That's very funny, and she played Cinderella there. She did a great job. Go watch that sketch. It's very funny. I don't know if Lily James is returning. That's a good question, Jeremiah. Maybe she would. I like that idea. If it was a legit spinoff. Although that would mean that Kate Blanchett would have to play their... I don't think that Lily James will return. Because they'd have to use the same actresses as the Stepsisters then. And they'd have to use the same... Kate Blanchett I don't think wants to come back for that. So I think that they could find... They'll find someone else. And I think this could be very well cast. I mean, I think playing the Stepsisters, seems like it might not be a very flattering idea. But I think that you want to really lean into it. Like, look at how much Barb and Star helped Kristen Wiig and Annie Mumolo. So I think I think it's for two comedic actresses. And look what Emma Stone's doing with Cruella. I think they'll find someone really good. That's right, William. The Camila Cabello Cinderella comes out this summer. But this is still in development. So they're putting it together. We'll see when it comes out. I know some of you are saying Disney Plus. I'd have to see who was in it. I think it could be a movie. So ES is saying it should be on streaming. I think it could be a movie. Beanie Feldstein's a pretty good idea, Mika. Beanie Feldstein could be interesting. But I don't know if they want to go for obvious jokes. Oh, Maria Bakalova, Brett D? That's an excellent idea. See, if they get Maria Bakalova, who's Oscar nominated, that would be right there. You fixed, that's it. That should be a movie. I like that idea very, very much. So I'm very excited to see how this comes together. So they're going to work on the script and then eventually they'll start to cast. So I'm excited about it. I think it's a really good idea. I think it's very strong. And this is great for Kristen. I'm sure that Kristen Wiig and Annie Mumolo will be in there somewhere. I don't know who they'll be playing. I don't know how big their roles will be, but they're on screen in, maybe one of them will be the stepmother. Maybe one of them will be the evil stepmother. Kristen Wiig, even though she kind of dropped the ball a little bit with Wonder Woman, and I think that was partially, she did an okay job. It should have been Sarah Paulson. But I think when she's used correctly, she does a wonderful job, and I think she'll be used correctly here. All right, so and I wonder who will play Cinderella. That could be a great opportunity for, like Emma Roberts. That's funny, but she could even be Cinderella. I think Emma Roberts is very comedic. She's very funny, but I think they could find someone good. I think they could find someone really good. All right, so now it's time for questions. You can ask me anything you'd like until 5:34, and then I shall do shout-outs. Hi, Argus. Brie Larson as Cinderella? Not as a stepsister, although some people would argue yes. She could. I don't know how funny Brie Larson is, though, even though I think she's a very good actress. I just gave you tea with the trailer for you today. I haven't decided on dinner yet, Bug. Not sure. Philip, Movie Math will return next week. Hi, Alex. Let's see here. Dan, Awkwafina's character is not in the comic books. They've made a lot of changes from the comics because the comics were unfortunate in some of their choices because of the time that they were made. Barbie Minaj says, on a 1 to 10, how would you rate Shadow and Bone? A 10. It's going to be a big hit, I think. I'm not, Mika, I'm not going to do a Michael Keaton video about The Flash because we don't have any new information. I told you he was coming back, everything that stands for what happened then. I mean, we still need a little bit more info. Also, my schedule right now is really crazy right now. And so, I mean, if I was like, I need to make some kind of video, maybe I'd try and scrape something together. But the logo wasn't enough. You know, it's just too early to tell what's going on. I don't know when the Mortal Kombat embargo is, Alberto. Let me see if they wrote me back. They've been telling me that they don't know. Still waiting. Driving me crazy. I don't know why they're hiding it. Has anyone here seen Mortal Kombat? Of course I will react to the Conjuring trailer. It's going to be great. I love that franchise. Shadow and Bone is a Netflix series which comes out on Friday. It drops the whole season, all 8 episodes. And it's based on a series of books that I'd never heard of, but I thought the trailers looked pretty good. So I got the series to review, and I was like, whoa. Oh, it's so good. So let's see here. Eli's seeing it on Wednesday. Black Widow saw it, but what did you think of it, I guess I should say? If you saw Black Widow, without giving spoilers, how was it? I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting on my screener. The Mortal Kombat watch-along bug will be on Friday, probably at around 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Mika, I did see The Rock's Aquaman video. I thought that was fantastic. Nate Fried Socrates says, who are you predicting for Best Actress at the Oscars? It's the craziest race, but most are predicting Carey Mulligan. I actually don't think Carey Mulligan's going to win because she hasn't won anywhere else, really. So we'll see. I'd like her to win, but I'm concerned that she won't. Lucas Ribeiro says, when are we getting release dates for Ms. Marvel and Hawkeye? Probably very soon, probably around the time after Falcon and Winter Soldier wraps. I think they'll have like a little bit of a month there to clear the deck and start getting people ready for the next round. So probably around then. You know, who asked me that? TJ Williams, I haven't heard anything about Lock and Key Season 2. And I have been like, I saw a tweet the other day from the Lost in Space account being like, Lost in Space came out X number of years ago. And everybody in the comments was like, where is the Season 3? I think the pandemic has slowed this stuff down. Did the Mortal Kombat embargo lift on Rotten Tomatoes? Is it only from foreign countries? Let me see. Yeah, see, no U.S. or trades papers have gotten it. That's what happens when you release your movie overseas and, you don't let anybody else. I don't think most people have even seen it unless they did the junket. Mike says, are you looking forward more to Shang-Chi or Eternals? Major Asian representation in both movies. Well, you know what I'll say? I mean, I'm looking forward to both. But I will say that I had no idea that Shang-Chi would look that good. So I'm like, you know what? Let's see Eternals. Maybe Chloe Zhao did just completely blow the lid off of that thing. So, and I mean, I'm curious to see if it looks a lot different. I thought that, parts of the Shang-Chi looked like traditional Marvel, but parts of it did not, which I was very happy about. I think the Black Panther comparison was very solid in terms of creating its own world. I wonder what the score will be like. Mika says, what are your thoughts on the Lord of the Rings Amazon budget? Now, that was just announced late last week. They were spending over $400 million on season 1. And my reaction to that was, they shouldn't spend that much money on it. But let's see. I mean, Amazon's a little bit on a roll, right? They had Coming to America was a big hit for them. The Boys and Invincible seems to be a very big hit. So let's see. Maybe they're right to spend that money. Although, you know what? I told a friend of mine about that, and their response was, I'm sure that that's really annoying to all the employees who work there and are underpaid. And in fact, Amazon just spent more money on an anti-union campaign, and they actually got their own employees to vote against being unionized. But they won't even let them sit down or go to the bathroom. Who would think they wouldn't need a union? That must have been one hell of an anti-union campaign. Chris says, will there be a Shang-Chi dual release? Impossible to tell at this point. I think we got to see what happens. You'll know Jungle Cruise will fall before Shang-Chi does. I think that it's a little bit too early to tell. I will definitely review Love Victor Season 2, for sure. Captain Keen says, are you a dog or a cat person? I like other people's pets. I don't want to have a pet. You know, I'm a germaphobe. As I've said before, if my dog sat down outside, I'd be like, you're free now. You can't come home. But I also live in a city. Like if I lived in the suburbs where it was like a lot cleaner, maybe I would be okay with having. I wouldn't want a cat though. You know, I really like cats. But over on this weekend's Catterday, I was doing my usual thing where I go through the Catterday tweets and I look at other people's cats. And someone's cat had eaten a lizard. They said they rescued the lizard, but I don't know. And I felt very bad. And dogs eat poop. That's right, Lisa. That was something I learned when I was watching Hubie Halloween, the Adam Sandler movie, and I was shocked. So I don't want a pet, but I enjoy other people's pets. Who asked me that? Ben Sfarag says, any truth to the rumored Wolverine analogy show on Disney Plus? I asked my sources about that, and they said no. From what they'd heard, that was not the case. Now, of course, there's always the outside chance that someone got like a super scoop, but I heard that that is not happening. Now, they did have the Princess Bar tease in Falcon and Winter Soldier when they went to Madripoor, which is Wolverine's favorite bar. But I don't think that they're not going to introduce him on Disney Plus. I think I told you that they were trying to get Hugh Jackman to show up in Doctor Strange. So we'll see. But I heard that the Wolverine thing was not true. I don't watch American Horror Story, Colin Rooney, because it's too scary for me. Oh, 1 more minute. Dwizzle says, any Zatanna tea, chances that Fennel directs. I have not heard any more Zatanna tea. I was the first to tell you they were developing that movie along with the Raven movie. I don't think that Fennel will direct. I think they're going to want someone who has a little more experience. Oh, Ohad loved Mortal Kombat. Amazing, they say. Oh, your daughter's name is Harley Quinn, Justin? That's so nice. Kevin Smith also named his daughter Harley Quinn. Ryan, I am excited for the Bad Batch. I'm not going to do live watch-alongs for Bad Batch, though. I only do live watch-alongs at 3 in the morning for live-action TV shows. So I will be doing that. That's right, that does come out in May. But I will be doing live watch-alongs next up for Loki. Ciao, Jaeger. TJ Williams, right now Zatanna is a movie, as I had told you, and as was reported in the trades. All right, it's 5:34. Mika, I will be covering AT&T Investor Day if there's any big news. I'm sure they'll be giving us an update on subscribers for HBO Max on Thursday, so I will definitely be covering that. All right, time for shout-outs. Now, what this means is that if you are a member, you can tell me what you're doing, what you're eating, what you've been watching, you know, where you are, and it just gives me a chance to interact with you. Barbie Minaj, I might start doing live watch-alongs for the Star Wars shows. Let's see how it goes. Marco, what was the Gotham Central news? Did that show fall apart again? Waffles just ate some Chipotle pasta. You did make it, Emmanuel. You just made it. Chico is chilling in my living room, seeing you on the TV screen. Oh, I love to be on the TV screen for you guys. Thank you for hooking me up there. Daniel Montalvo says, hey, Grace, it's been a while since I've commented, but I'm watching here in Texas. Oh, that's cool. You don't have to comment, as long as you enjoy the stream, but I'm glad to hear from you. Mike Abner's about to eat dinner in Puerto Rico. Oh, that's lovely. Madeline has a cat, and her cat is begging for a cuddle. I apologize for any comments I made about cats if they were not to your liking. New member Jao Miguel Loria says, ordering sushi. Oh, it's pronounced John. Thank you, John. John's having some sushi. I like sushi quite a bit. I always am a fan of the dragon roll. Anna says, hi, Grace. I'm in sunny Indiana painting with watercolors. Oh, that's lovely. Zeester, I did miss you, of course. Finally back from, you're in Kuwait as usual. I hope have you started your new job yet? Poet of the City says, watching Broad City and making a baby blanket. Oh, you're doing a lot of stuff at once. I'm impressed. Rainbow Man says that they love Invincible Man. Who's having a cinnamon roll? Carlos Munoz, you're eating a cinnamon roll? I'm so jealous of you. Jorge is writing his thesis in Toulouse. Oh, that sounds great. Let's see. Captain Keen is watching from London with a whiskey. Oh, you know how to party. Antonio Garrett says, I'm having banana pudding in Waverly. Alex DW says, hey, Grace, watching this live on my commute to work, craving coffee and a croissant. Oh, hopefully you can stop before you get to work, but be safe. Kevin is feeding his parrots in Montreal. You guys are living a great life out there. Colin Rooney says, hey, from Ireland, and there's the Irish flag. I love it. Diana Moser is having soup in Ohio and excited to have renewed your subscription today to BTT. I'm so happy too. Hope your soup is delicious. I made chili yesterday. I'll post a photo of it on Instagram after this. It turned out I had chili and I watched Peyton Place again, and I had such a good time. Let's see here. Nicholas Aguilar says, hey, Grace, after going crazy with my high school chemistry homework, your live stream is the only thing that made my day better. Oh, I'm glad I could cheer you up. Othman Omarak says, being overflowed by the insane amount of content at the moment. There's a lot. There's a lot because Mortal Kombat's coming out, so it's a hot week, hot movie, hot week. Let's see here. Sion says, in Wales, about to watch the latest episode of Invincible. And by the way, I really liked Kill Bill Volume 2, and I didn't mind the Superman speech. I'm glad to hear it. Michael McKenna said, beans or no beans? My chili had two kinds of beans. It had regular beans, like kidney beans, and black beans. It was delicious. Dancing Dog 60 says, making a Newman's Own pizza in Boston. Oh. Let's see here. Desert Knight says, having my last meal in Dubai since it's Ramadan, and I'm fasting tomorrow. Happy Ramadan. Pastor Madeline says, you would not like a cat as a germaphobe, so no offense taken. I knew it. I babysat for someone once, or I house sat, and I babysat their cat. I house sat for someone once who had a cat, and there was like a thin layer of kitty litter all over the place. I was like, what is this? Brett James Bishop says, watching Twister with my client Topher. Hey, Topher, you guys were bowling last time. And boy, Brett, you guys have a good time. Twister's a great movie. I recently rewatched that, and I had a great time. The Chris channel is eating gluten-free Oreos. I hope they're good. I don't know if gluten's an essential ingredient in Oreos, so you'll have to let us know. Let's see here. Veritas Maroc says that their cat just attacks them. That's not good. Matt is playing hooky from work to hang out with my family in Michigan. Oh, can you say hi to my 5-year-old Izzy? Hi, Izzy. Hi. Let's see. I'll do a few more. Adam G is getting ready for my first university exam in Scotland. Looks like you're ready. Nicholas Bonani says, I'm cuddling with my cat watching your stream here in Brazil. A lot of people with cats. That's fantastic. I do love other people's pets, as I said. Hocus Focus is eating a Dairy Queen chicken and biscuit basket. You got it? You got the basket? I saw an ad for that on TV, and they were like, would you like chicken fingers and fries and mini biscuits? And I was like, man. Apparently some of you don't like it when I say GD, so I'm going to try and stop saying it. It's like one of the few swear words I thought was okay, that was like kind of middle ground, but then someone was like, it's the worst swear word, Grace, so I felt bad. So anyway, I'm so jealous that you're eating that. That's a lot of carbs, but you must be really happy. Ben Svarog says, finally fully healed from COVID. Tomorrow is my first day working again in Hungary. Oh, I'm glad to see you on the other side. Elizabeth Johnson says, enjoying a Popeye sandwich after my first vaccine shot. Way to celebrate. And Gina DeLuca is thinking about going to Disney World tomorrow. Well, I hope you can get a reservation. But if you do, I hope you have a great time. I love going to Disney World. I'm trying to figure out when I can go again. I don't think it's going to be this year. Part of me was thinking I could maybe go in August, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I would love to go back to Disney World so much. Now I'm just thinking about that biscuit basket. Is it good? Hocus Pocus, is it good? Do the biscuits taste like biscuits? Did they do a good job with it? Why do we always end up talking about food on these streams? Hocus Pocus, where are you? Are you eating the delicious biscuits and your fingers are too buttery to type? Oh, Braden says, just got my second COVID shot this morning and relaxing in foggy Colorado. Good for you. And then Roy Duarte says, hey, Grace, can you shout out to my 5-year-old niece, Bianca? She loves your videos. Hey, Bianca. Hocus Pocus says it's delicious. I knew it. That ad made it look very tasty. We do always talk about food at the end because it's around dinner time and I is hungry. Linda Collins just got home from the dentist. That's fantastic. I hope your teeth are all scrubbed and clean and healthy. Brett Crandall is hanging laundry in Brooklyn. Oh, that's great. That sounds very peaceful, actually. Sion says, what new ride are you the most excited for? I just want to walk around Disney. The best thing about Disney is just being there. And so I'm just excited to walk around and enjoy it. And I want to go to Gideon's Bakehouse, speaking of food, and try the food, try the cookies and the cakes. But it's really hard. It's so hard to get to downtown Disney. It takes a big chunk of your vacation. So I'll have to see how long I'm going for. I've been obsessed with Gideon's Bakehouse for years at this point. So part of me is like, how can you be so close and not get any? But then I'm like, but do I want to take a half day of my vacation out? Oh, Hocus Pocus said, don't forget about my chocolate chip milkshake. You're really living the life, Hocus Pocus. That sounds like such an amazing treat meal. I think the way to go is to have cheat meals like The Rock, not at the level of The Rock. The Rock's cheat meals are legendary. But, I think like on the weekends you can treat yourself a little bit, and it sounds like you are having a treat. All right, everybody, I better get going. I have one more video to edit that will go up first thing tomorrow. I had such a good time talking to all of you. You guys are wonderful. I love doing these streams. And not only do I like telling you the latest news, but I really do like the interactive quality of it. So for those of you who are just watching, totally cool. I'm so glad that you can participate in that way. But I really do love getting to know you guys in the streams. It's a lot of fun. For those of you who can comment. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. And if you haven't seen my Shang-Chi trailer breakdown just yet, it's up there right now. Okay. Bye. Bye-bye-bye. Bye, everybody.